Hi everyone, it's Roman from Acceleration. Welcome to our fourth part of our n8n training. So it's a free training on YouTube. The last part was about an automation, easy automation that we create, where we take like some data from a Google Sheet to a Notion database page, like we get a row on Google Sheet and we create a database page on Notion. And if you remember, on this automation, we was using like the trigger, the manual trigger. So we have to click on the button at the bottom of our screen, the orange button, to execute the workflow. Today, we are going to see and to check like the different type of triggers that we have on n8n. So we are not going to check all the trigger, but the most common one. So it will be a pretty short part today of our training, but it will be really interesting because it's how we launch a workflow. So here you can see our first trigger. So the executes like the manual trigger when we launch the trigger when we click on this button. This was on the last part. This one is the schedule trigger. So this one is like when we want to launch a workflow at like different type of time, like at a different interval. So you can choose the interval between by seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, or months, for example. And after you can here switch, like if you want, like, I don't know, like the workflow is launched like of the 10 minutes, you just have to put 10 here and you can launch the workflow like at the interval that you want. After that, we have the n8n form trigger. So this one, it's like if you don't want to use, for example, type form, jot form, or any kind of form, you can have like an n8n form. So it's here, and you can create a small forms. It's a pretty easy form, like with no conditional logic, or you cannot embed it on a website, but you can put the name here and create form elements. So you have text input, drop down, email. You can ask to the user whatever you want. Here, you have to select the production URL to have it in production, but for that, you have to publish your workflow. After that, we have the webhook. The webhook, if you want to connect another tool with HTTP request to your workflow and is trigger your workflow, you can give to the other tool this URL. So it's a webhook URL. And here you put the HTTP method of the HTTP request from the other tool, and you will receive the data here, and it will be triggered by the data received. After that, we have kind of the same of a webhook, but if you want to launch a workflow with another workflow on your instance, for example, I have like one action in my workflow 1, and I want this action in my workflow 1, create another action in my workflow 2, so I will choose this node to do these things. After we have the chat node, so here it's more when you use AI agent and you want to communicate with a chat module. So we are not going to see that today, but it will be interesting when we will have some AI agents. And after we have like all the app trigger. So here you can see, for example, on Google Sheet, we can have like, I don't know, if a row is created or updated, I want to be triggered about that. If on Gmail I receive an email, if on HubSpot I have a new contact, for example, or a new company, or if someone send me or respond to a form on HubSpot, or if I receive an email on Outlook. So we can have thousands of triggers, of native triggers directly from apps. You have to check here directly with the app. So for example, here, if I put Gmail, I will have directly all the trigger. So here we have only one on message received, but other tools have other trigger. So on the next part, we are going to see how to use a data table on n8n. It will be really interesting, you will see. we can like have some action and like transform data in our data table pretty easily with our workflow. So feel free to send us comments if you appreciate this kind of video. You can also subscribe to the channel and have a good day.